Welcome, everyone. Today I'm going to be telling you about how my Christmas went this year, and I gotta say, it is possibly the greatest Christmas anyone could ever have. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. You can see definitely by the title that I did not have a very good Christmas this year. So, in order to properly give you the story, I'm going to need to go into the background of all this. So, a couple weeks before Christmas, my family was having a really deep discussion about what was going to happen on Christmas Eve. Because usually every single Christmas Eve, my entire family will get together and basically have a little party. But because of COVID, everyone was like, oh, well, I don't know if I want to do that this year. Now, due to scheduling issues, we weren't actually going to do it on Christmas Eve. We were going to do it on New Year's, and I'm still not sure if that's happening, I'm going to be honest. However, on Christmas Day, one of my grandpas was going to come over to my house for Christmas because, he usually comes over for Christmas. However, my mom said to us on Christmas Eve, we should probably get tested before we do anything just to make sure we don't actually have COVID. Now, this wouldn't be an issue. We wouldn't have had to test if we hadn't had a pretty busy week the week before Christmas. So about a week before Christmas, I actually went and saw Spider-Man the Thursday before Christmas. That Christmas week. It wasn't the Thursday right before Christmas. It was the Thursday before that Thursday. You understand. So I went and saw Spider-Man with my friends, and there's nothing wrong with that. It was a pretty good movie. I'm not going to spoil anything. But then I went and saw Spider-Man again on that Saturday. I went with my family that time, and I gotta say, listen, I just want to real quickly say this has no relation to the story, but the difference between the two theaters, the two audiences I was in was so big. Like, my first audience that I saw it with, they were awesome. They were cheering and everything. It was like the Marvel experience you would expect to see. And then the second time I saw it, dead silent the whole time. Nobody was cheering. When when something big would happen, you just hear nothing, literally nothing. Anyway, so I saw Spider-Man on Saturday, but then that's not all I did. On the Monday after that, I went to Universal Studios. So it's a pretty busy week, and on top of that, I was already still going to school. So it's a pretty busy time for me, and so obviously with me and my family being very active, we decided to test. We have home tests, because why would we not? And we tested on those. And before I did my test, we had dinner on Christmas Eve, me and my family, and my mom said, all right, we're all testing. But before I started the test, I went and actually started recording my Christmas video. And in the middle of that video, my sister comes in the room and says, come do your test. I'm like, oh, okay. So I go downstairs, my mom shoves the stick up my nose, and then I did the test, and then I went back to recording it. And in the middle of the recording, my mom bursts in the room and says, you got it. I tested positive for COVID-19 on the home test. Now, there's a lot of options here, but basically the one thing that was running through my mind is, first of all, my grandpa, he can't come over, and second of all, we're not going to see the family at any point in time, at all in the near future. And so it started a complete isolation for me. I hid in my room away from everyone else because I tested positive, everyone else tested negative. How? I don't know. But I hid in my room, and whenever I would walk downstairs and do something, I had to wear a mask. It's just, I don't want to infect anyone else because, I'm not a dick. And the following day was Christmas, and I had to isolate myself from Christmas. Now, me and my family usually have breakfast with our grandparents on Christmas Day. You can imagine that's not going to be happening. So I had to hide in my room, and while my family had breakfast, I was in my room eating breakfast, completely isolated. It's pretty depressing, I'm going to be honest with you. I did open presents with my family, though. I had to wear a mask the whole time, but I did do that. But I had to kind of keep my distance. It was, normal. It was normal. So you can imagine how great of a Christmas present it was to test positive for COVID on Christmas. However, this is not the end of the saga. The day after Christmas, we were actually going to get a professional test, like an actual test. I don't think it's like it's like a law, but it's just a good idea, really. So on the Sunday after Christmas, which was just the day after, on the 26th, we went and got an actual test, and we were going to wait a day or two. I think it's just a day. I think we only waited a day for us to get tested, or for the test results to get back. So we were driving up there. I'm wearing a mask the whole time. Everyone but my brother is there because my brother had to work. I don't know why his work decided to have him come in. I mean, it made no sense for him to be there, because there's a pretty good chance he was exposed to someone with COVID, and they're like, just come in, we need you. I mean, if he brings COVID into them, I mean, it's not his fault, it's their fault for having him come in. Either way, we're driving up, and we have to wait like a good half an hour in that line, which apparently with the Omicron variant, it's just been crazy. Everyone's been getting tested because everyone's getting infected because it's a super infectious disease. I mean, everyone knows that. Wear your masks, get vaccinated, it helps. So we go up there, and they shove the stick up my nose, and I just want you to know it is the weirdest experience of your life. You will never feel weirder. I mean, no matter what you do, you will never feel weirder than when someone takes a cotton swab and sticks it up your nose for a good 10 seconds. And we drive home, and of course, I still wear a mask the entire day, because, listen, we were pretty confident that I had COVID-19. However, we weren't so confident because I was completely asymptomatic. I showed no symptoms of COVID. Also, when my mom was asking me if I was feeling any symptoms, she was like, all right, can you breathe? Yeah. All right, is like, have you been coughing, sneezing, any of that? And I'm just like, no. She just goes, does your back hurt? I'm like, what, does my back hurt? What the hell? I don't know if that's a symptom, but I don't know why. I don't know how COVID would make your back hurt, but either way, the answer to that was no. So then we had to wait. On Monday was the day we got our results back, which was way sooner than I thought it would be. So we get the results, and my mom comes in my room. She goes, "You tested negative. You don't have it." I'm like, "Oh my God, hallelujah." So it turns out I do not have COVID, but that doesn't mean I never had it. So I was completely asymptomatic, and apparently a new thing came in that was like, asymptomatic people, the virus runs quicker through you. So if I was asymptomatic, I probably only had COVID for a couple days, and I just recovered quicker. Because I never felt symptoms, so the virus was just like, there's no reason being here, let's get the heck out of here. That's the idiot guide to how asymptomatic works. So there is a chance I still had COVID, and I just never knew it until I tested that day, and it just moved through my body before we got the test on, the day we got the test on Sunday. Now, there's two possibilities. There's the possibility that I never had COVID, and the possibility that I had COVID. So let's go over that possibility that I had COVID first, because that's the more interesting one, and it's the only way I can make the runtime longer. If I had COVID, we never really figured out when I got it. There are multiple possibilities. The first possibility is me seeing Spider-Man the first time with my friends. The second possibility is me seeing Spider-Man a second time with my family. The third possibility is Universal Studios. And the fourth possibility is school. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it was probably from school, and I just never knew, just because teenagers are absolutely stupid. I'm telling you, at my school, barely any kids wear masks, and the teachers do not care. It's just they're just happy to be there. The teachers will wear a mask, but they won't wear it well. And the students, there are a couple students who are just like, I ain't gonna wear a mask, and the teachers are just like, who gives a crap? But I wear a mask all day, most of the time. The only time I don't wear a mask is when I'm drinking or eating. However, kids are stupid, teenagers are stupid. I mean, obviously, I'm not stupid. I mean, I'm just way smarter than everyone else. The other option is either of the two movie theater experiences. I don't think it's those because the movie theater was really strict with mask policies. And I know masks don't exactly stop everything, but I'm saying the most likely place I got it is the place with 2,000 kids and a lot of them aren't wearing masks as opposed to the place with only a couple hundred people and everyone's wearing a mask. So I know. So the last option is Universal Studios. Now, Universal Studios, there's a pretty good chance I got it from there. But the reason we believe I didn't get it from Universal Studios because that was the most recent event. That was on Monday, whilst the last time I went to school was on the Friday before that. So we don't think I got it from Universal Studios just because it's so close to the time when I tested negative that the virus probably would never have been able to move through my body that fast. So if I ever did have it, I definitely didn't get it from Universal. And I probably got it from one of the other places. So, yeah. Either way, the effects of COVID hit me, whether I had it or not. I mean, obviously, I didn't get hospitalized from it. I was asymptomatic if I did have it. And even if I didn't have it, I still had to isolate myself from my family pretty much for a good 2 days. And I didn't even get to really spend Christmas with my family at all. So it was a pretty depressing Christmas. Hopefully, really very hopefully, anyone who's watching this had a much better Christmas. Hopefully, anyone who's watching this had a much better Christmas than me. And hopefully, you'll have a wonderful New Year's. I'm sure I'm going to have a great New Year's. Hopefully New Year's will be a lot better than Christmas was. Anyways, with that, I'm going to wrap up this video. Just kind of wanted to tell that story as it's kind of a hectic story. It's a roller coaster of emotions. And yeah, I'll see you on New Year's.